3. We're gonna do a book haul.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
I'm Laura, and as we said, we're gonna do a book haul today of the books that we have recently acquired.
Yes.
There are quite a few.
There are. It's basically during our winter break, so Laura can start.
I got the book Dear Daughter as a Christmas present for my brother David. It's a type of murder mystery novel or murder kidnap novel. So I haven't started it yet and he keeps hounding me about it, but it looks interesting, so I will read it soon.
I got Their Eyes Were Watching God. It's by Zora and Neale Hurston. I read it in high school and I just recently got a pretty copy of the book. It's really good. It's one of my favorite classics. It's about Janie telling the story about her life when she goes back to like her old hometown and the 3 like loves she's had. So it's kind of about like love and like gender, and it's really good. I recommend it.
Elizabeth gave me Scarlet and Cress by Marissa Meyer for Christmas. So these are the 2nd and 3rd books in the Lunar Chronicles. It's a really good series. We both highly recommend it.
Yes.
We've both now read the entire series because Winter just came out. That's the title of the 4th book.
In the background somewhere.
Up there.
Up here somewhere.
It just came out in November and it was really good.
Yeah.
So we would recommend this series to everyone.
I got these 2 for school, but they sound really good. I'm taking a class called Creative Nonfiction Writing. So this is called, in fact, The Best of Creative Nonfiction, and this is Lit by Karr. It's her memoir. They're just about creative nonfiction writing. I'm really excited for it. Their tagline's like true stories well told, so it should be a good class and good reads.
Next, I got Gillian Flynn's Gone Girl. I got this when Elizabeth and I were at a resale shop, and then we went to the back corner. They're like, books! So that's the only thing that we bought there.
Yep.
I read this book. It was made into a really good movie too. And I don't know if I'll ever read it again, but I think once is enough maybe.
I think so too.
It's definitely a thriller and it really messes with your mind. So now it's super popular after it was made into the movie. But it's really good. So I would suggest reading the book too because it has a lot more detail than the movie and it's even more messed up.
The next book I got was November 9th by Colleen Hoover. I've yet to read it, but I'm really excited to. I think it's about a girl and a boy who's an aspiring novelist who meet every year on November 9th.
Although it was kind of sad because the book came out on November 10th.
Yeah.
Because books have to come out on Tuesdays.
They missed that.
Yeah.
They could have.
But it was close.
Yeah. Yeah, it was close.
Next, I have Laini Taylor's Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I read this trilogy last year after Elizabeth read it. It's really good. And I have yet to buy all of the books. So I finally got this and I put it on my bookshelf and I was like, yes, one closer. It's a really hard trilogy to describe because it's one of those that like after you read the first book you learn a lot more and things start to change. It's a high fantasy series, but all I'm gonna say is that it's really good and it's worth the read. And the writing is really beautiful too.
Next, I got Red Rising by Pierce Brown.
When I first saw it, I thought it was like Pierce Brosnan. I was like, he wrote a book?
I almost said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know this came out a few years ago, and I think the 3rd book is coming out recently, but I've yet to read it. I'm just going to hold on until the 3rd book comes and then just like marathon them. I know it's a fantasy series. I don't really know much else about it, but it sounds like a lot of people seem to like it, so I'm sure I'll like it too.
Mm-hmm. Next, I got a Barnes & Noble gift card in my Christmas stocking, so I like ran upstairs Christmas Day and like went online because it's cheaper there. And one of the books I got was Paris by Edward Rutherford, and it's really cool. I got the hardcover because it's really pretty, and even without the cover, it's a really nice green color on the inside. But it's a really big book. It's over 800 pages, and it's a novel that kind of traces the history of Paris through a fictional family. So I've only read a little bit of it, but it's really cool, and I love the city of Paris, so hopefully it will give me more insight into a place that I already love.
So next I got 2 books. I was gifted them by my parents for Christmas. It's the Book of Ivy's the first one, the second's The Revolution of Ivy. I know it's a dystopian novel, and I watched another booktuber who said it was really good, and that's the reason I went and bought these. So I know it's about, I think a girl is like forced to marry someone, but instead she's being sent to kill him, and that's how I guess it starts, so sounds good.
Dun, dun, dun. And there are knives on the spines, so that's nice.
Yeah. But I don't know. They're cool. Yeah. She's wearing a wedding dress in this picture, so I didn't notice that at first.
And next, also from Barnes & Noble, I got Les Liaisons Dangereuses, or Dangerous Liaisons. So this was also actually made into a movie a long time ago with Glenn Close and John Malkovich and Keanu Reeves and Michelle Pfeiffer. So it's basically just this huge like plot of sex and intrigue and manipulation, and it's really cool. And they actually remade the movie into Cruel Intentions, so it's kind of a modern twist on it with Reese Witherspoon and Sarah Michelle Gellar and Ryan, I don't know if his last name is Philippe or Philippi because I hear it both ways, but it was again really good. So again, I have yet to read it. I will one day.
Next, I was also gifted this for Christmas. It's The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. It sounds really cool because it's about, instead of the people who are always like, I guess, your main character in a book that's like off saving the world, it's about the other people, us, I guess, who are just like left behind. So it sounds really good. Yeah. I know someone else who read it and she really liked it, so.
I actually started to read it.
Oh, really?
I never finished it, but yeah, they call like all the kids like the indie kids. It's funny because they just kind of like reference like, oh yeah, that time they blew up the school. Like they're really kind of nonchalant about like, oh yeah, those indie kids, they also like always die saving the world. So it's kind of funny. Next, again from the resale bookstore, I got a version of Jane Austen's Persuasion, again because I like this color green, and this is one of her books that I did not own yet, so I've also yet to read this, but I will someday.
Next, I got The Weight of Feathers. It sounds really good. I guess it's a magical realism book. It's about two people.
It seems kind of like a Romeo and Juliet story.
Yeah.
But with some magic.
Kind of like star-crossed lovers, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
The blurb on top mentioned that it's a fantastical world as captivating as that of the night circus, and I love the night circus, so that's another reason I thought this might be really good.
I'm cheating slightly because I have some books here that I had to buy for school, but I thought they would be cool too. One of them is Lysistrata, which has a very interesting cover where everyone's naked and it's very bright pink. And for those of you who don't know, it's an ancient Greek comedy by the playwright Aristophanes, and it's about how all of the women in Athens want to stop their men from going to the Peloponnesian War by having a sex strike. And Spike Lee actually kind of took this idea and made it into the movie Chirac. So I've also yet to see that movie, but after studying this play in class, it would be cool to see the movie and compare and contrast. So it should be really interesting and really funny as well.
Next I got Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. I know it's like time travel treasure hunt, something like that. So I read The Darkest Minds and Never Fades, the first two. I've yet to finish that trilogy, but I liked it. So I was hoping I'd like this. I think I've heard that this is better, so I'm hoping that's true. It sounds really cool. The cover's really pretty.
For my French class, I got a French version of Madame Bovary. So it's all in French, so it will be quite a challenge. I will definitely read it, but I diverged from the book list and got one with a cover that I liked better, so hopefully that's okay.
Next I got Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. I've been hearing a lot about this book. I know it's a fantasy story about two witches who are friends, and there's some romance in there, and I don't really know much else, but it's fantasy and that's what I love to read, so I bought this. I thought the book was really nice too. It's a lot bigger than I thought it'd be.
Another book that I got is One Day in the Life of Ivan Desanovich, which is for a class that I'm taking on communism in 20th century Russia. So again, I don't know what it's about, but it looks really interesting and it's a time period that I'm really interested in. So if it's for the class, I'm assuming that's what it's about. And it's by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. Do you know how to say that? Solzhenitsyn. Russian names are very confusing, so I'm just gonna stick with Solzhenitsyn. So.
Next, I got Illuminae. It's kind of an impulse buy, but it looks really cool. I know it's told through dossier files, emails, schematics, military files, IMs, medical reports, interviews, and it sounds really cool. I love reading books that have like this kind of stuff in them, which it's hard to find, but yeah, I always find myself like skipping ahead to those pages, so. Yeah. And I was telling Elizabeth earlier, I saw an audiobook of this online and I have no idea how they would do this in an audiobook,
because some of it is like drawings and stuff. So
Yeah, like I saw like the
Pictures.
page here is like pictures of just people. So
we'll see.
I don't
It
know.
sounds really interesting though.
Yeah, I think it's about two people. There's like a war on their planet, and like I think there's a virus. It's about a boy and a girl. They're ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, but I guess they're the only people that can like help each other. And so yeah, it sounds really interesting.
The last book I have here is Les Contemplations, or Contemplations, by Victor Hugo. And this is another book for my French class. So it's also completely in French, but it's just like selected poems of his. And there are a lot of them. It's a large book. And then in the back, Victor Hugo is also an artist. So there are